Hey, it's Brett Bumeter again, at BrettBum on Twitter from Softduit Media, and I'm covering BlogWorld Exhibitors. This is the first look at the unofficial BlogWorld exhibitor list. Right now I'm looking at Overblog. They happen to be running some sort of poll with BlogWorld this year. Okay, so here is Overblog. Now I'm looking at this in Mind Manager, which has a quick viewer. As you'll notice, the site's in French. And if I switch over into Chrome, which is the browser I normally use, I can get that translated, and I can pretty much confirm that this is basically a blog. It's running a magazine theme. Can't really tell what they're doing other than they're blogging. BlogWorld and Overblog, they're teaming up to collect data on how you blog. They're running a poll. You can find this on the BlogWorld site. Just do a quick Google for BlogWorld and Overblog. Within this poll, they're basically looking to see how people blog. You might want to take a look at the survey and contribute there. When you get to the actual show, every now and then you will see a number of different podcast or blog sites that are exhibiting at the show. You may or may not be interested in what they're doing. You might want to take a look at some of their niches in case you're not interested in the overall site. Maybe you work in tech and you're interested in what they're doing in tech. There could be a useful networking opportunity there. They may be looking for guest bloggers. Even if you're doing social media work, it might not hurt to network a little bit with other bloggers out there and get to know what everybody else is doing it within their particular areas of interest. Take a look at the sites. Even for the ones that may not necessarily offer up a solution, there could be a good networking opportunity there that might help you. That's Overblog. The next one up is Outbrain. Here is the Outbrain site. I'm not terribly familiar with Outbrain. I believe they offer some sort of social media engagement analysis, some sort of service to help you figure out how to engage people on your site. So when you get them to your site, they offer you some sort of analysis or tools or tips or something like that to help you do just that. Here's something interesting that I always kind of look for. If I go to their For Publishers site, and let's for a second consider that I'm looking at this from the publisher's perspective. As I look at this page, there's not a whole lot on here to help engage me as a publisher, and they're supposed to be in the business of engagement, helping others do better. Now, it's very often the case that people that provide a service, they don't always use their own service to beef up what they're doing themselves because they're so busy helping others. It's always a positive reinforcement to see someone using their own tools, tips, and tricks to get the job done, and I'm not quite sure that I'm seeing that here. Let's take a look at the perspective on things, how it would look for marketers. A little bit more jazzy, but for the most part, this is basically just a page with a bunch of bullet lists on it, and I think they could do a little bit more. They do offer a number of widgets that could be a little useful to help hold their feet to the fire a little bit, just to see what they're doing, see if they're living up to their own potential or drinking their own Kool-Aid. The next one up on the list is New Media Rights. This is one that I'm not terribly familiar with. What they do is they offer bloggers and possibly social media folks and others advice, assistance, maybe even quasi-legal advice. I'm not sure if they're lawyers or not, something I'd want to learn a little bit more about. They help you figure out if what you're doing online is legal, if you're working within the guidelines of the law, if you're doing the right things to protect your copyright, or if you're interviewing folks, or maybe reviewing other media, making sure that you're following fair use rules, things of that nature. So this could definitely be a useful resource, even if you only treat this as a niche blog for information. But if you ever get into a clutch situation and you need some good advice, and maybe you don't have a lawyer on speed dial, this could be a useful place to turn to get some good information, some good advice. So that's New Media Rights. The next one, I'm not quite sure how you pronounce this. Mobile Libris. I don't know. I don't speak French. Looking at this site, as a web developer myself, my first impressions of the site are it's written in HTML, and it's kind of basic a little bit. It's kind of got, an Earthlink email address. It's a little odd. A couple things I would think here. As a web developer, and I'm probably not going to approach these folks, but as a web developer, I always look and see, here's a company. They're shelling out enough money to go to BlogWorld and exhibit, but they haven't done anything to update their website in what looks like maybe, 15 years. This has kind of got a 1997, 1998 look to it. I'd kind of expect something else unless there's some branding reason why they're doing this. But they seem to offer book selling services to people that are writing books, and BlogWorld is co-located with the Book Expo of America. There will be hundreds, if not, maybe 1,000 or more different exhibitors and companies there that are doing the same thing. This just happens to be one company that was smart enough to go exhibit where the bloggers are, kind of looking for a new market. But, you know, in talking to them, they might need some web help. So if you're a web designer out there, this might be an opportunity to get out and talk to these guys, see if maybe you can help. And who knows, maybe next on the list is Microsoft Hotmail. Now, I'm not a big fan of Hotmail. However, I do happen to know that Windows Live does and has offered one of the best blogging tools on the internet for quite a few years. Back in 2007, I discovered a little tool called Windows Live Writer. It had a different name back then. They rebranded it with that name, but it falls under the Live department of Microsoft, or whatever division or what have you. Windows Live Writer. Of course, it's Microsoft, so they make everything hard to find. But if you check out the software, it's basically desktop software that you can run, and it makes it super easy to blog to any platform. I'm not talking running like a Blogger type service or something like that. Basically, this helps connect you to many different types of platforms. You can blog to WordPress, which is what I use it for. You can blog to Blogger, LiveJournal, Typepad, a number of different systems, all from one place, and you can manage multiple blogs. At one time or another, I used to manage over 50 blogs using this particular software tool. Think of it kind of like a Hootsuite or something like that for blogging. Very, very handy software program. And truthfully, from a user interface perspective, when it comes to formatting pictures on a blog, this is actually easier than WordPress itself, even the new WordPress. There's Windows Live Writer. I'm not sure if that's why the Hotmail folks are there. Sometimes, keep in mind, this is an early look at who's exhibiting. Sometimes a company will come in and they'll, set up a booth for a single product, but they'll pay for it under a corporate division or name. So maybe Hotmail is the division paying for it, writing the checks, got the name on the booth, but the actual product may be something from within that division. So that was Overblog through Hotmail. In the next series, I'm going to cover my favorite affiliate network, Linkshare, all the way down through the International Association of Internet Broadcasters. Hey, this is Brett again, and there's a new company that was added to the BlogWorld exhibitor list just today. That's Friday, the weekend before Memorial Day. The company is called Snippies, and basically Snippies is a marketing communication video company. They make videos for brands and people that need to put out videos through the web, YouTube and other areas. One thing I just wanted to point out, I don't know Snippies. I believe they're based in New York, but really like the way they lay things out on their website, with the small exception that they don't put any videos on their homepage. They've got a nice slideshow going and tons of other information about case studies and things like that. Doing a good job there. I do really like this little section down here that leads into some of their other information about how fast they do it, how they do it. Definitely interested in seeing what they have to say at the show, learning a little bit more about them, how they get the job done, but just wanted to add these guys to the list because they weren't there just a couple of days ago.